And here to break it all down for us is Jordan Fabian, the White House correspondent for The Hill. Always good to see you. Thank you very much. We were just talking in the makeup room. A big story. And a recent poll shows now that more than half the country views Russia as being an enemy to the United States, which is not a surprise to so many people, of course, here in our country. But at the news conference this past week, the president said he didn't think that Michael Flynn did anything wrong by speaking to the Russian ambassador. So did that just create more confusion for Americans?
Donald Trump tries to put this Russia story to rest with that news conference on Thursday, but in fact what he did was raise more questions than answers. He was asked 3 separate times whether he could rule out that his campaign aides had contact with Russia, and he couldn't do it. So we talked about the investigation at the top. That's going to add fuel to what they want to discuss and what the FBI wants to discuss too.
Now, Jordan, it's important to note that while Trump staffers reportedly spoke with Russian intelligence officials during the campaign, there is no evidence of collusion there. So where does the Senate Intel Committee and the FBI go from here? What are they looking for exactly?
Well, Director Comey's meeting with Intelligence Committee members shows that this investigation is going to speed up fast. What they want to look at is 3 separate things: the campaign aides' contacts with Russian intelligence officials, whether that violated the law, a deeper dive into what the former national security advisor discussed with the Russian ambassador. Did he actually discuss sanctions, even if it wasn't illegal, was it inappropriate? And also, in general, a deeper dive into Russian hacking that we heard about all the time during the election. Hillary Clinton's emails, the emails of her former chairman, John Podesta, all of those things are going to be under the scope of the Senate and the FBI going forward.
Now let's go to a big upset for the Trump administration. President Trump's pick for National Security Advisor Admiral Harwood, he turned down the job. And General David Petraeus is no longer in the running, a man who was respected on both sides of the aisle. Both men had said they would want to hire their own staff if they took the job, but the White House, of course, resisted with that, basically sending the notion that Trump would still have major control over that area. Will the White House need to compromise in order to get someone in that position, and someone who's respected and qualified and who wants to take the job?
Right. Quite possibly, if they want to look outside the building. Right now, General Keith Kellogg is serving as the interim director, and it's very possible he could continue in that capacity permanently if they can't find somebody else. But what this whole controversy shows us is that President Trump values loyalty above all else. Now, all presidents demand loyalty of their staff, but this is kind of unprecedented. We saw an aide from the Department of Housing and Urban Development be fired because he wrote a critical op-ed about President Trump during the election. We saw the Deputy Secretary of State, Elliot Abrams, someone who's being considered for that position, not get it because he did something similar. This is something we haven't really seen, and that's causing problems for the Trump administration filling his agencies. And these are the people who are going to carry out his agenda, and he hasn't been able to fill those posts quite yet.
All right, Jordan, a lot of Republican lawmakers have been facing a lot of heat from their constituents across the country, especially at their town hall meetings when it comes to repealing the Obamacare there. How does this impact the health care debate and policy?
Well, repealing Obamacare was always going to be tough for Congress, and this is making a tough task even tougher. Look back to 2009 when they were first considering this law. That's when we saw the Tea Party rise up, go to the town halls of Democratic members of Congress, and 1 year later, Republicans took back control of the House and made it very hard for the president to enact the rest of his agenda. We could be seeing something similar right now. If these grassroots protests that we're seeing at town halls across the country turn into a political movement, we could be seeing a very difficult result for President Trump in the 2018 midterms.
It's no secret that our president loves a cheering crowd, campaign-style rally. He's hosting a rally today in Florida. What is he trying to accomplish?
Well, this has been a tough month for President Trump, to say the least. And what he's doing is getting back to what he likes to do best, which is campaign. He's going to this rally. He's going to be in front of the crowd who adores him. He seemed to thrive off that energy during the campaign. And we saw him do that, too, with the press conference he had on Thursday. That's something he liked to do early in his campaign, spar with reporters, really get down and dirty. So he's kind of been bunkered down in the White House, and he's been hungry to get out and talk to his supporters, and that's what he's going to be doing later this afternoon.
So is it an effort to also rally up his base and sort of take the attention off of what's been going on for the past 4 weeks?
That's part of it. He wants to regain control of the narrative. The narrative has been about Russia. It's been about his tweets. It's not been about things he wants to talk about. Jobs, getting manufacturing back in the United States, and even just him feeling good about himself. And that's what I think this rally this afternoon is going to allow him to do.
All right, Jordan. Fabian, always good to see you, man, and thanks a lot for coming in.
Thanks.